Welcome back
Welcome back. It's our second episode.
after so long. Actually, well, no, for you guys, it's not that long, but you get it. It's been
No,
it's been months.
I would say at least. Wait, when did we record the first
I don't
episode?
know, bro.
I think it was like early August.
I was to say it's been 2 months, probably 3 months nearing. But welcome back to the
Yeah.
unspoken
Oh
word.
no, it's been since July 28th.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yo.
So many things have changed. So many things have started. There's a lot of change in this world.
Definitely.
Personally and globally.
Globally and locally and nationally.
Oh wow. Yep. Yep.
I'm pretty sure you guys can already
Tell where
figure
this is
out what
going.
we're gonna be talking about today.
Rip off the band-aid.
Yeah,
What are we talking about today?
we're gonna take a bit of a break. I know a lot of you guys wanted for us to continue
College
the
experience.
college experience.
We appreciate that. We
Yeah.
appreciate you listening.
Definitely. I think while that's very important, and we are gonna continue that conversation.
Not gonna stop, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna continue that conversation down the line. I know a lot of you guys may have internal questions about how the recent shift in politics in our country affects us.
America, rah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's scared?
It's been it's been more over a week and a half ever since everything happened. So
I think there's a specific mask, like the whole country. Actually, I think I find it very funny. Everyone had a mask, whether you were voting for one or the other.
yeah.
A lot of us thought one thing would happen,
Yeah.
and it turned out to not be the case.
Mhm.
And I think that people have proven that there are things that this country values that
Mhm.
we, I guess, are not specifically ready for.
Yeah. One thing I do know is gonna be real awkward in Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, your holidays,
Yeah.
my holidays. Well,
Only
yeah,
for,
no.
personally for us,
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna
personally.
be something.
Yeah, my parents know I'm very much more. I'm a lot more progressive than what they'd like me to be.
My parents, they don't get the chance to hear me out.
Oh,
I just
no.
want to go eat some good ham and turkey and leche flan. That's all I care about.
Yeah, if I hear one instance where they say, "Oh my God, Trump," blah, 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 I am gonna take my food
I'm
and
gonna
and
walk
not
out.
I am not eating in the kitchen, bro.
No, yeah,
I am
I
not
can't
eating
do
in
that.
the dining area. I am going to the living room with my little cousins.
Oh yeah, I'd rather be at the little kids' table than anything
Yeah,
else.
no,
I
for
don't
sure.
care. At least those kids don't understand what politics is yet, so they wouldn't even have to bring it up.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's on my Christmas wish list? I don't know. God, come earlier.
Yeah. You know what?
Let's take it down, guys. Please, please. No.
Let's just end it.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Wait.
no, no, no.
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop joking. Real.
Okay, yeah.
Real though. There is gonna be a lot of changing, and I don't know what we want to go over. Do you want to go the big scale, or do we want to go like
What do we have?
how it personally affects us, or how it personally affects how
Yeah,
some people are viewing it?
I think we can scale up
Up to small.
from small to bigger. I
Oh,
think.
okay. Got you.
I know there's a lot of, at least for both you and me,
Yeah.
we're church kids.
Yeah.
So seeing the amount of gusto and amount of enthusiasm, seeing all of that MAGA enthusiasm in real time, very scary. Like
Oh, yeah.
when they say it's very cult like, believe them.
Mhm. I wasn't there for the same that Sunday when the after the post election things happened and that whole Sunday rolled around.
Mhm.
But I'm sure it was something very interesting to see. I don't know. I felt the fear through the screen through what everyone was texting me at church, and
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's like I'm barely building my faith. And I mean, it's always stuck with me. I was born Christian, I grew up Christian, and I go to a Christian church. And uh, all the things that were instilled to me was loving one another, accepting one another, and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
that day on that Sunday, while I was out with family further up, I was in SF. I didn't feel acceptance, and I didn't feel safe personally. So I was the lucky one in the situation to not have been there, but that is a local level. Everyone felt scared. I feel like everyone was quiet the day after the election. It was tough.
Yeah, definitely not one of our brightest days. I think for me, as a man, I think it's very. If you're a man, you're not as affected by this. Like, and I definitely, while I definitely felt that privilege kind of cushioned my discomfort in that
Hmm.
what in the outcome of the recent election. It's because I was able to feel my privilege as a man that I got even more worried.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn and saying that I'm like I should be praised because I'm an ally and I'm using my privilege to
He's not having a feminist moment here,
no,
guys.
no, for
He's
sure, for sure
saying
not, but it's just
a moment of
self-awareness.
yeah, a moment of clarity, and being like, oh shoot, if
It's
that's not
not.
the case for everyone else.
Yeah, it's definitely a case of like I'm aware of where I'm not affected
Hmm.
and all the more reason why it's affecting me. I think a
Yeah,
lot of people.
it's important to care about the things that
Mm,
don't affect you
yeah,
because somewhere out there, somewhere in this nation, it's affecting someone.
I can. You know what? We can keep that as the icebreaker for now.
Yeah.
On that, I want to shelf that a little bit later in the hour.
What do we want to
About
shift to?
let's see, what's the next one? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess maybe you can start it.
Which one?
Maybe let's talk about the privilege because
Oh,
I
well,
like
you already
Christian.
were bringing it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
talk
the
about
things that
that.
we're talking about is kind of really intertwined with one another for our personal lives and also on a bigger level, and us both being Asian and us both being immigrants and us both being in the working class, it doesn't only scale from a local level and a personal level. This is going to affect everyone. Anyone else that falls under these things, Asian or not, immigrant or not, working class or not, it's going to affect someone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but it's important, I guess. Now one of the main topics that we really want to cover is that you need to be really aware of your positionality here as an existing person on earth. But let's do it on hone in on a more specific level. As a person in America, it's really important to really understand your positionality because ever so fitting with this topic, your identities and the things that you align yourself with or the way that people perceive you, all those categorical things, ever since you stepped foot into America, ever since you got in that citizenship, that is a categorical political topic. And it's a real thing, and you can't take it away. I'm sorry, that's just how the system works. But now that, we have who we have elected for the next 4 years, your identity is a categorical thing, a political thing, a political topic, a new hot trend, a new, hey, we need to put a policy on this over this. And that's the reality of it. So for me, I'm not a cis man. Yes, I can say I'm a man, right? But not everyone else is going to think that way. No one's going to believe me, and there's some people who will. But the way the government sees me is the way that I don't, that
yeah. The
they don't see
government.
me
Yeah,
as me, you know?
yeah.
And that positionality and that position is so important because I'm not saying that America sucks. I'm not saying because
I
of
don't
what's
think any
happening.
of us even would say. I mean, I know there's definitely some left zealots out there that are like very much saying like, oh, America's too far gone, and America should not be praised and all of that.
Hmm.
I would say I would beg to differ
Yeah.
because no one wanted America to turn out like this. No one wanted America's history to be like that. You
Yeah.
know, but I think we have such a great opportunity moving forward as a people, as citizens, as people
Yeah,
of this nation,
for sure.
to really flip the history, the dark history that we know, over its head and change it for the generations to come. We cannot change the past,
Yeah.
which is
It's
it,
unfortunate.
it is
You're
what it is
allowed to
moment.
mourn, you're allowed
Yeah,
to
we
cry, you're allowed to be
yeah,
scared.
and it's okay. You know, we can mourn, we can mourn what America has raised itself in the last 200 years or so. A lot of us grew a lot of us, you know, came across a rude awakening with that as we got more educated.
Yeah.
And let no one ever make you think otherwise, that you are unpatriotic, or that you are, you know, not, you
Caring
know,
for your
caring.
country.
Yeah, you don't care for your country because you mourn. You
Hmm.
mourn because you care.
Yes.
That is what's the most important,
And
right?
yeah, it's like the fact that you do care does really mean something. And it's exactly what we were saying. Like, just because it doesn't affect us personally
Mhm.
doesn't mean that we shouldn't care.
Yeah.
Um, that's why understanding where your positionality lies in so many certain areas affects so much. Because even, let's be for real, I don't know what policies are out there that make disabled people feel discriminated or feel inferior, because guess what, we are both, you and I are able-bodied.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, and I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 years in ways where these people who fall under both mental, physical, any other emotional disability are being affected.
Yeah.
That is something I've never had to think about.
Yeah.
I never thought about why ramps exist, why these
Speed bumps.
the why
Right.
speed bumps exist, why these elevators are a certain size and a certain width and a certain everything. Like, I never had to take it into account. But that's why it's so important to really step back now, where you are seeing things get heated up. There's turmoil in the nation, and people are like either giving up, their fight or flight's going off. You need to step back and really understand how, on a deeper level, how you as a person and all the things that you identify as, what you can use as a tool to fight back, and what
Yeah.
you can use as a tool to, for now, find a way of resistance.
Yeah, it's a take care of yourself, but you know that you can also, and you are very capable of taking care of others as
Yeah.
well, right? Just because we have, you know, a lot of us, a lot of your media outlets right now, a lot of the social medias that you're, you know, pages that you're following are saying the work's not done. A
Yeah.
lot of it, you know, is telling us to just basically take a step back and lock in. I mean, a lot of that's true,
Mm-hmm.
but I we just want to reinforce the notion that yes, take care of yourself. It's okay to mourn. It's okay to cry. After that, the work still goes on. But remember to always take care of others as you're taking care of yourself as well. You have a community. You have people that you are, you know, that you are in this fight together with. You
Whether
are
you
not
know it or
alone.
not,
Yeah.
the moment they reach out, it really takes a small step to really figure out that there's so many people there that are willing to be there for you, because that's what they also need. Um, it's not only you here. You're gonna find someone else that feels the exact same way and feels the exact same depth of anger, frustration, exhaustion, all those things. Like, you will find people. And you will find people to joke about things in amidst this whole thing. You'll find things to laugh about. You find things to shout about. It really matters to just surround yourself with people that make you feel safe. Because right now, I was scared. I was scared for the next 48 hours of my life
After
after the
the
election.
election, yeah.
I was scared shitless. Walking on campus did not feel real. No matter, it doesn't matter if my campus is hugely left leaning, it doesn't matter if it's known to be progressive, it doesn't matter that it's a UC. I was scared.
Right.
Anything could happen on there. It's an open campus. People can walk in. People can shout at me and tell me all these things the moment I step foot on there, just because of this fucking election, because of who the hell we voted,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And I'm not gonna bring up exactly what it is, but I heard there were incidents in Geisel.
Yeah,
Uh,
the day right
for
after.
y'all, I mean, I don't go to I didn't go to UCSD. I don't go to UCSD, but I did hear things around, and I personally felt that myself.
Yeah,
It's
walking on campus feels heavy.
yeah,
The day after, I didn't know what happened that in that moment, in that afternoon, but I knew my heart was heavy, and everyone else's was too. And for like this past week, it's been heavy. It's just been real hard, and but I don't want to wallow in that type of stuff.
yeah,
I really spent a good like 3 days wallowing right after the election, and I was like, you know what, I need to get the fuck up. Like, I can't.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think it's important for us to realize like we have our personal obligations to ourselves,
mm,
because
you
like
need to,
how can you help others when you haven't helped yourself
yeah.
up, right? So
And
that's yeah,
in the same time, it's like we're not asking and we're not begging on our knees and plead for you to be an activist. I'm
mm-mm,
asking you as a listener to really make sure that you feel safe for the next 4 years and you reach out to what you need, because it's gonna matter. Right now, everyone is feeling the same thing. Everyone that is on your side is feeling the same thing. And it's so important to really kind of just voice that out, because maybe all you need is one person to say it to have everyone else be like, oh my God, no way, I was feeling the same thing. And then that's how you create a community. That's how you create a connection.
yeah,
That's how you feel a little bit more safer. And that is so important, because I have those pillars in my life and I'm very grateful for that. And I am aware of that positionality. I have friends and I have family that are there to support me through what's going to happen for the next 4 years. And there's some that are not. And that's okay. I've accepted that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to stop fighting. This is what I've been telling people, and I'm sure it's been circulating around the internet. Um, and in my positionality as being like, I don't know, a double minority, a triple minority, I don't know. But now for the next 4 years, and for how long I've been identifying the way I've been and living the way I genuinely and authentically am, my existence is resistance towards whoever is trying to tell me that I shouldn't authentically live myself.
yeah,
Just be in my own body, live in my own clothes, be in my own home, live here in America.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I'm gonna say something super niche that I don't know if people are gonna understand, but
No, say it. Just
keep
yeah,
the TV glowing. Do not unplug it, because you cannot unplug it. But you have to stay safe. And I respect that, because I am too.
yeah. Do
But it's
not
important
yeah, like
to keep fighting.
exactly. Do
Do
not
not
let
get,
go.
yeah, do not let go.
The thing is, they want you dead.
Yeah.
Do
Oh
not
wow.
let them. Do not let them make you think that.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve life. You deserve
Yes.
to live. You deserve to experience the joys and the sorrows of this life down to its very core.
Oh yeah.
You deserve it just as much as the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody think otherwise.
You
You have a
deserve
right
it.
to be here. You have every right
Mm-hmm.
to live how you see fit to live. And religious or not, whatever, right? We have our own religious
Yeah.
stipulations. We have the way that we choose to live, quote unquote dictated. Not, I wouldn't say dictated, but we have our own ways that we're encouraged to live, but we're extending that freedom, that expression of will,
Yeah.
and telling everyone who's listening right now that it's you have just as much of a right, a decision, and a will that we have,
Yeah.
that anyone has.
Yep. It's very important. I just feel like we need. Or I just feel like I needed to say that, just because if anyone, I'd rather say it and have little people hear it did not say it at all to be able to say something like that.
Oh no, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
I think we can also talk about like where does this are we
the impending doom.
yeah, it's like, is it impending doom? Is it like, are we
This is
OA?
a this is a
Like
crash out
I'm
moment.
thinking very like pragmatic. I don't know if pragmatic's the word. I'm thinking very like I'm teetering on not choosing a side of like a way to think on one side or the other, right? It's just saying like, well, let's think about it from a critic, let's critically think about this.
Yes.
Am I overreacting? I'm not gaslighting myself, but it's like, you have to think outside of the bubble.
Yeah.
Am I, am I overthinking? Am I being too worried about things that may not come by, that might not actually happen? Am I, overblowing things out of proportion? Am I fear mongering really?
Yeah, because I mean, um, there's a lot of media outlets that are telling you one thing. There's another one that's telling you a lot of things, and obviously, I feel like a lot of people know that there's bias in
Yeah.
these things and these sources and all that stuff. And it's important to really realize and kind of step back if you really want to. Go out of your way, do your research. The best way to really understand what might happen in the next 4 years is to really go out of your way and really read through what different sources are saying. And if that's one way that's gonna help you kind of level out your mind from like spiraling, then do that. But there's a lot of fear, and obviously that was a lot of people's first reactions. But
Yeah.
we really do need to put a critical thinking cap on.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge is power. Wisdom is the culmination of that power, I will add. The more you equip yourselves, the more that you will not be swayed or disavowed or disproven by all these other voices out there, right? You have to really think what affects me, what doesn't. And it's like that's where you can really decide, is it fear mongering? Like I said, some of these policies, maybe we are overblowing it. I'm not gonna say like
It's
which
not set in
ones. It's not set in
stone.
stone. Let's not get it twisted, right? Like maybe some of these policies that may not come to pass, but like as things are unfolding, you know as that as the people up there are starting to make their moves, you move accordingly,
Yeah.
right? You have to say, okay, I'm scared, but I can still move and think.
Mm-hmm.
you know that's not fear mongering at all. That's just
Yeah.
being very aware, very alert. you know
Yeah.
you,
The preparations for anything and any
yeah,
extent is so important.
yeah,
Um, but do not let yourself get stuck in the future
yeah,
and thinking about what could happen in the future, because all and that is not. Here's like my thought process. Actually, let me just back it up. There's some things that you can control. There's your safety, who you tell these things to, um, what you can do as a person, like right now in this present moment as you are doing whatever you are doing as you're listening to this. That is something you can directly control. But what's going to happen in legislation, what's going to happen in all of the branches and all that stuff, yes, we do have power over that, but right now it does not feel like we have control over that. So why bother really pondering and feeling frozen and feeling stuck about it when you get super stuck in the future thinking over those things? You have done nothing to prepare for what might happen now.
yeah,
You need to focus on things that will directly, something that you can directly do.
yeah,
It creates immediate change for yourself and your loved ones or whoever you care for, about anyone else. And that's why some people go straight to activism, go straight into protest, goes into organizations, or it can be something small. It's like, I need to renew my passport. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, in the next four
yeah,
years, but I need to renew my passport. And that's a fact. That is technically a preparation
yeah.
for me. And that is like, I don't know, a worst case scenario, but I should probably get my passport renewed. That is something I can immediately change. But what legislation can do in the next 4 years nationally is something I cannot control as of right now.
Yeah.
And that is something to be decided in the future.
You know, you know how our president elect, he said a lot of these I want to give back to the states, right? If we're gonna bring it there. And I was telling Ren this earlier, when in preparation for this episode, was that if he and they say so called want to bring it back to the states, take it as is. It's a local fight at that point.
Yes,
Like
the battle
the
starts.
battle starts like locally. The battle continues actually very locally.
Mhm. Just because he got elected doesn't mean that the battle ends there.
No, for sure. Like
No.
he that's no, yeah,
There
definitely. It's the case of he won a battle. He did not
yes.
win the war.
Yeah. I mean, come on, like there's still left leaning people in legislative branches. There's still left leaning people as citizens of America.
Right.
The whole idea of the Constitution is the idea that we as people and as citizens of this country are able to make something and change something if we collectively go together.
Right.
Why are we stopping this now just because of the idea that our democracy is going to fall apart and true democracy is going to be gone the moment that he's elected? We
Yeah.
still have the power right now.
Yeah. The power is always in the people, you know.
Yeah. It's so
Like
niche.
it's so funny because like we always romanticize dystopian fiction like a decade ago, right? Let's bring it back
I
2012 to
fear we are
2014.
in the Hunger Games right
Hunger Games,
now.
Divergent,
Oh my
Maze
gosh,
Runner.
Divergent. Oh wow.
We all loved it.
Now that we're here,
Yeah.
facing the start of the
okay.
end.
A lot of y'all can argue, oh my gosh, you guys are fear mongering right now. You're saying it's a dystopian. It's there's always that possibility, especially in our day and age now,
There's
where
also
when we're facing irreversible climate change.
oh yeah,
The discussion that the notion that even our like democracy is quote unquote on the line.
yes,
That all goes to dystopian fiction, right? Let's
Yeah.
let's not beat around the bush. Fahrenheit 451, it's probably gonna happen. There's already book bannings. Come on, guys.
Exactly.
Like I don't care where you stand in terms of like, oh, it's dystopian fiction or not, guys. There's science.
And
Take the
also,
science.
where do you think these authors wrote these ideas from? Straight out of their head? It's not. There's not. As a person that's very much in the creative field and the creative person, those ideas did not originate from thin air. There are actual real life experiences where, when you read stuff like that, when you read quotes from these books, you're gonna look at it and you're like, fuck, that's so familiar.
Yeah.
It is eerily familiar. It feels wrong that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is.
Yeah.
How did we get here? How did we get to this point? You know? And so it's like, we're not trying to make you scared, but honestly,
Wait,
you
hold
need to
on.
face the reality.
Did we as a society manifest our own dystopian fiction? We romanticized it.
It's because the new Hunger Games movie came out, bro.
Bro, who thought of that, man?
Cornelius, go back, bro. Go back.
Can we like let Hunger Games be in the past, please? Like it's been 10 years. Come on.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Wait, no, I mean, sorry, you're making too many jokes. Okay, wait. Lock in.
Wait. Well, we can lock in, or we can take a break. Yeah? Let's take
Yeah.
a break. All right, guys. We will take a short break.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
And we are so back.
Yep, we are back.
Okay.
We were actually talking about like what to talk about next because I know we stopped on dystopian fiction, but then then that would lead to like book bannings, right? I mentioned earlier Fahrenheit 451,
So
right?
many things are being restricted. No more fan fiction, guys. I'm falling to my knees.
Yeah, a lot of. It's funny. I saw on TikTok, like my sister showed me at least on TikTok that the Bible was like one of the
Possibly
things
getting
possibly gonna
banned.
get banned. I'm like, but that's the whole quote unquote basis that they were.
That's the whole basis that Trump was riding on, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a Christian nation. Why are you gonna ban the Bible?
Exactly. It was the one dot. The was the. What is it, dude? I'm not. So wait, guys, don't tell me I'm not patriotic. I forgot what it's called.
What?
What's the thing on the saying on the dollar bill?
One nation under God.
Is it really? Wow, really? Someone take away my citizenship? Wait.
I'm right, right?
No, I said someone take away my citizenship. Please don't do that.
No, no, yeah. What the?
Yeah, in God we trust.
In God we trust.
Yeah, there. So, like, what's up with possibly banning the Bible if we have "In God We Trust" in our $1 bills? Let me know.
Right. Yeah. Again, that's all just hearsay. Do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be whatever media you ingest from.
Just be careful.
Just be careful. Like I'm gonna give a whole new meaning to the whole "stay woke" thing. Literally, stay awake.
Yeah.
Stay awake and be alert of all the things you see.
Yeah.
I don't care what people tell you about. Oh, wokeness is like bad or whatever. Put a different meaning to it.
Who cares, bro? Like, stop with the chronically online definitions. Can we stop with that?
If you stick to chronically online definition stuff, then that means you're just
as bad as the next person. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So be better, do better.
And also,
I'm telling you all that.
And also,
I know you all are critical thinkers. Y'all are capable of critical thinkers. We're all humans. We're all given that capability. Do not sell yourself short.
I know the education system kind of failed us, guys, but no, we need to lock in.
Oh my gosh.
Get up.
Dismantlement of the department.
Oh, no more FAFSA. Oh, we'll talk about that on the...
actually...
Do you want to talk about that right now?
No, I think that's important. That would be a good...
That'll be a good...
For a college.
Yes, well, that'll be in the continuation of our college experience series. But
not that FAFSA was ever that place, but you know what? Fuck it.
It was better there than not at all. Okay, guys, come on. Be grateful for what we have. Positionality and privilege.
Yes.
Kuya.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But no, just be vigilant. Be careful, because the people that are voting right now and the people who have the right to vote are searching up what a tariff is, and people are searching up, can I change my vote?
I don't care if you don't believe that people are not searching up what is a tariff and how can I change my vote post election. If that's being circulated around, you kind of have to give it the benefit of that, benefit
of the doubt.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt. And kind of just be like, maybe people are Googling this stuff after an election.
Yeah.
And I will just say, it is what it is. They're idiots.
Yes, you can't change that, obviously. From the answers...
Why would you make an important decision, your vote, after... Sorry, let me reword that. Why would you make such an important decision about your vote and you don't research for it beforehand? You had to do it after. Guys, this is what we're saying. We've been saying, well, we only talked about this since episode 1, but research.
Yes.
Think for yourselves.
And also, your own personal experiences. Yes, I understand that that's how you see the world, but the person right next to you that you were sitting in class with, sitting in lecture with, your damn professor, your teacher, your elementary school teacher, they all came from different walks of life, and they're going to see it differently. But that doesn't stop you from, I don't know, pause. Let's see what the rest of the world thinks, because you never asked them how they thought about this.
We're touting that privilege thing. It's like if it doesn't affect me, it doesn't matter to me, guys. Like we have, like that's the whole
You have power in that.
No, literally. But like, I'm gonna touch it on the whole notion and the whole campaign platform that our Republican president elect was always stouting about. It's so divisive.
Yeah.
That's how he got all of us.
Mhm.
He literally said, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care about it. Right?
That's crazy. Choked on my coffee.
And a lot of people voted that way. Let's be freaking for real, bro. You know,
I wanted a phenomenon, and I got a phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I sent you that meme the other day. Yeah.
Like, come on.
I was giggling in my bed, like right before I slept. I was like, that's funny.
Oh goodness! Again,
guys.
This is your own initiative now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you.
This is your wake up call. This is the whole world's wake up call.
A tariff. Because you asked that question, right? Let's touch what a tariff is in basic terms. If you've taken civics, as you should have in like high school, like there's like at least one class you should have taken.
AP US history, everyone. AP government.
Or AP econ. Or literally just civics class. A tariff is a tax bill that's saying we will any imported goods from a certain country, like our country will impose higher tax rates on that. The framing is that the country who is trying to export it to us will have to pay it, right? And they have to agree to it. Sure, right? You're quote unquote trying to strong arm them into make it cheaper for us here. But at the end of the day,
pro tip, the government lies to you. Pro tip. They really like rewording things where it sounds like it would benefit you.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why, at first glance and on the surface, pro tip, do not trust what they say and give to you firsthand. You need to do research on it. You need to do research on your propositions. You need to understand how it affects other people and yourself.
Okay, let me put a pause on that, because I did say earlier, there was a phrase earlier I said, if they say something to you, like take it as it is, right? Like believe them. I don't want our listeners to think that we're saying one thing and being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because I know I can already see that line of thinking. It's my critical thinking. So when they say they're gonna do something blatantly, yes, you should believe them. But if they're trying to tell you that, hey, we're putting this bill out there, the thing is, you as a citizen, you as a working class citizen, will not know immediately what that bill entails. So that's where you have to do the research. That's what I'm saying.
There's a whole process. You can't believe that if they say immediately at front value that
you believe the things that they say when they say it's blatant. You believe those. If they say something that's in a bill that will immediately, like that's in writing,
yes,
read that writing first before you believe them.
Yes,
that's absolutely what we're saying. There's a difference, all right? There's a difference.
Yes, there is a difference, because it's one thing that they tell you that there's one thing that where people don't believe, like, oh no, don't worry, like, guys, this is how tariffs work, this is how the tariffs will go, yada yada. That is a concept of how the tariffs will happen. But if you do your research and you really read in on how tariffs work in America and how the specific tariff bill functions, that's the part where we want you to really do your research. And that's where you see the truth.
Think about it. Our government is trying to strong arm another government to cough up more money so that quote unquote goods will be cheaper for us, right? That's one part of the concept. The nuance to that is that you put money in circulation, right? They put money in circulation. Someone's gonna get the short end of that stick, and I guarantee you, it is not gonna be the people who actually have money who will get the short end of that stick.
Yes, it's not gonna be the top 1%.
It is gonna be us. Eventually, that money that they told China, they told whatever, the Philippines, right?
Whatever foreign country.
They have the money and the means to shift the policies around so that the working class, the people, the citizens always get the short end of the stick.
And in my brain, the way I'm translating this is, why would the government care about their relationship to one single working class member of America in comparison to the relationship between a whole ass country that's giving them all these manufactured goods?
Yeah.
Why would they care about you?
Let's
be for real.
It's funny how you brought up
If
like
they're not even
manufacturing.
gonna, yeah, if they're not even gonna notice, the working class is not even quote unquote gonna notice that they're getting the short end of the stick because of the way that things are worded, the way that things they don't see, the things that they don't notice or didn't bother researching.
Mhm.
Why would they care about that if you never spoke about it in the first place, or you never thought about it against it in the first place? I'm slurring over my words, but why would they care about you as a person in comparison to a whole relationship with another country?
Guys, they have money to burn. We don't.
Yeah.
So think of that. Chew on that as
Yeah.
food for thought.
Yes.
Like these countries that are deciding on tariffs, their government has the money to burn. When it recirculates back to you, and you're the one that's gonna end up paying in taxes. Guys, we were already told by a lot of world class economists out there. A lot of them were saying Americans will spend on average 3K more a year.
Oh,
That is because of these stupid fucking tariffs.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I've never taken an econ class in my life, guys. I'm kidding. But I took it in high school. But I took more account into how government and politics work, so I'm being fed new information here as we go.
Yeah. Again, do your research. If y'all are gonna blame this Biden administration, like, oh my
I
goodness,
know where you're going.
guys, yeah, you already know where I'm going with this. The thing is, you a lot like if you're not educated by this, let me school you for a bit.
A push, everyone.
Yeah.
We're going back into high school. We're
Mhm.
having an A push crash course right now.
Guys,
Go.
guys, our quote unquote inflation that wasn't underneath Biden's plans or anything.
Tax policies.
Or
Nope.
whatever.
Not under his economic policies. It's not what he implemented.
It's really not, because if you think about it, nothing of that was changed. Like
Yeah.
he didn't change or remove anything from 2016 to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't change anything, guys. Biden didn't like for I'll just say it, for better or for worse. Biden didn't do shit when it came to tax policies. All of that was Trump's policies. If there is a new policy, a new like finance or like tax policy introduced, that doesn't come until 2 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of y'all know that, but that's why we're still living in Trump's economic policies until
A
2025.
quick like dumb down is, I'm gonna do a quick little analogy. If you are of the age where you can invest in stocks and you spend, I don't know, you invest in a certain amount of money into this certain stock, right? Do you think in 3 days suddenly the money that you invested is gonna triple, double, quadruple in 3 days? No, just because you from the past invested that much money doesn't mean that that money is gonna suddenly get better in 3 days.
Yeah.
That shit takes time. That takes years. So when, in retrospect of the timeline of our different presidents, we had Obama, who had his whole full term back to back to change and do things all all in the way that he wanted it to go, and also a place where a lot of the branches were on his side. It doesn't matter. I didn't know
God,
the specificity of that.
I miss that Republican Party so much.
But yeah, those people people worked with him, and people helped him go through the new deals that he was going through.
Bipartisanship.
Exactly. And as things went on, obviously in those 8 years, he was able to accomplish a lot of things. He got to pass a lot of things. And that's why, in reality, our economy was good. Really good.
Yeah.
To the point where it bleeds into the next presidency. That is what they literally taught us. That's what they taught us in AP Gov. That's what they taught us in a regular government class. And that's what they taught us in an AP Econ class or a regular Econ class.
Mm-hmm. When you invest into something, core principle is you do not get a return immediately. For all you fuckheads that are saying like, oh, Biden didn't do anything. The economy was so good under Trump. Yeah. Like, bro, y'all do not realize that was because of Obama. Mm-hmm. And I'm holding everyone accountable for this. We are so used to instant gratification.
Yeah.
That's why we take this whole like, oh, but Biden didn't do anything.
Okay.
Right? We had a lot of inflation under Biden. Like I said, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. He didn't do shit for better or for worse.
Yes. And also, I'm not saying that Obama is a really, really great person. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
I know what you're getting.
He has his own also like he has his own weaknesses
Yeah.
during his own presidency. I'm not saying he's a good person. We're
Yeah,
looking at this
we'll
from an
detail that
economic.
maybe like
We're looking
later
at this
on.
from an economic point of view
Yes.
where it has actually firsthand affected us, and this is what we're using as points of evidence for why Biden or Trump is better, or whatever administration was better. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm glorifying and putting these people on the pedestal.
Yeah.
But again, it's just keeping it ahead in your head that these are just people, and this is why it's so important. The instant gratification that you're gonna get isn't because of the current president that's seated in the fucking Oval Office or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. It's not.
I'm holding everyone accountable to that. We're so used to instant gratification that we expect the current sitting president to be able to do something and immediately put it into effect.
Yeah.
Like, I'm bad at instant gratification. I love my dopamine hits. Come on, let's be honest. Everyone loves their dopamine hits. We're such a dopamine heavy society.
Yes, because once I press the buy button, I'm so happy for the next 48 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's how a lot of people are seeing this whole policy thing and why this current administration hasn't done anything.
Yeah. And you're also not taking into account that all the different branches right now are very right-leaning.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna
during
talk
the
about
Biden
that.
administration.
Actually, I was gonna talk more about the fact that we have such a legislative, judicial, and executive branches all red,
and they're also very against Biden. So it's only makes sense that whatever Biden's trying to do, and whatever everyone that's on Biden's side is trying to do and trying to pass what policies are trying to be passed on that level of power, obviously those people are not going to see eye to eye.
Yeah.
And more so, as you can see, for the past 4 years, not a lot of things worked out in compromise as we wished. So, you just needed, I don't know, people, respectfully, let's all take these classes again in high school. Let's do a refresher. Let's see in a bigger point of view. It's really important.
Do it before they abolish the Department of Education.
I have to do it before my FAFSA leaves me. I was already complaining about the lack of money I got from FAFSA, but here we are. Maybe I shouldn't have complained too much.
I'm gonna joke around and say y'all really voted for a person who wants to like not even consider giving you a loan break. That's as me who,
in your positionality as a person
bro,
that
like,
is in school debt or whatever.
Yeah. Again, just because it doesn't affect you, you should care about it. We all gotta stop thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
this is as a nation.
If we want everyone to do better, we have to help everyone do better. Yes. Right? How like I can go through such a rabbit hole with that, but
yeah,
we'll talk about that. But
it's important.
Again, do your research on tariffs. I will say this: moving forward, the elections upcoming. Fingers crossed, we have some more.
The midterm in the
midterms, or even like the next presidential election.
Hold on. Right? Midterm is very important.
Yes.
That's who we elect into our seats, and that also affects the policies that we're experiencing on a local level, a state level, a county level, all that crap. Okay, guys? So please, all the young people that are listening, this is stupid, but I'm going to repeat what our high school teachers say all the time, because it's always a trend on young people not caring about voting during midterm elections and only majority of the people voting when it's the presidential election. It's so important. Those are the people that are eventually going to do the electoral votes. I forgot how most of the process goes, so I'm sorry. Those are the people who are going to be filling our potholes stupidly or actually smart.
Yep.
Those are the people who are going to help us get better pay, better, what is this? No, I was going to say Medi-Cal, but this is for everyone. Better health insurance for all, TRICARE, all that other stuff. This stuff will actually affect you firsthand, and you cannot complain about it if you do not vote. Okay?
I'm
just saying.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just here like laughing in the corner.
It's okay.
Because when you were talking about Medicare and all of that, right? your ACA, your Affordable Care, whoever's gonna be handling that stuff on a regional, national level, well, not national, but
State.
it's like state level. I'm like, it's just always ringing to me like what happened in the debate. I have concepts of a plan.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot.
Bro, like, oh no,
gosh.
no, and kind of tying that with the whole people got to do their research. I have seen stories online, people saying like, "Oh, I'll be fine with my we could do away with Obamacare because I have the ACA." And I'm like, "What? That's the same fucking thing."
Affordable Care Act is actually, surprise, Obamacare.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's really such a shocker.
Guys. He loves. Remember, this is one of the things he said, and this is one of the things you should take his word for it. He loves the poorly educated, and that's not. I'm not trying to like take pot shots at nobody here. If y'all are, if you took offense to this and you're listening, like, I'm not trying to take a pot shot at you. I'm just taking a pot shot at like the millions of other idiots that voted like that.
Yeah. And also, if you take personal offense to this, we do not know where your walk of life came from. We do not know what you personally believe in. So, sorry. But also at the same time, you do not know what everything that we believe in either. Yeah. So, how can you say anything? So
that's what two-way street, man. That's what we're trying to say here. You gotta stop being selfish.
Yeah, we're saying what's in our thoughts, and you take it as is. But just saying, guys. Yeah. It's I did a shit ton of research just to prepare myself for college. I could do a shit ton more research just to prepare for my life and how my rights are being dictated. Exactly. I can keep going until the day I die. Yep. If I can do it for college, you can too, on a bigger level. This is bigger than all of us, and I will say, to kind of be really sad about it, is we are privileged to be in California. Very privileged.
We'll still feel the push of the incoming administration here, right?
Yes.
But at least at a local level, we can still retain some sanity.
We can retain some rights. Sorry. But no, yeah, for people who don't feel safe in your state, don't feel safe in your county, don't feel safe in your city, I'm sorry. My heart and my prayers go out to you. But that's exactly why we were talking about it. Your community matters so much, and it's really hard.
If you are alone out there and you have the time to start, I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I'm literally I'm just keeping it a buck here. If you yourself don't feel safe, for the ones who really care and are like giving this whole last hour a listen, and with open ears and open hearts, do what you got to do. Find a community.
It all takes one step, small step.
And I'm not just saying this like as a figuratively or like a figure of speech. Find people that you can move with, hopefully, right? Like,
you can take that on a literal, figurative level. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Help yourself, help others, help each other.
Yeah, what matters most and what you can do as a positive effect most. Yeah.
If you gotta move, go move. And I know there's definitely people feeling like that.
Yeah. So if you do not feel like you're in the position to give, to provide, that's why it's so important to allocate resources and really share what you can. We have the internet. It's a powerful thing. Might be taken away from us. We don't know yet. I'm kidding. It's a very important thing.
Really
it's an important thing. I'm sorry. It's an important thing. We really need to use the best of it. And that's why it's a good way to connect, and it's a good way to really let other people know that we all feel the same thing right now, and you can find comfort in that. I find comfort in it more than fear, and I think that's what's so important. Yeah. Turning your fear into comfort, turning your anger into resistance. Yeah. Those are such important factors to have. So yeah.
I guess we can segue into, I guess, what would be either our last part or second to last part into church, because I know like both
that's
of us
also
are
community.
I brought this up earlier.
Yep.
Me and Ren are church kids.
Yep.
It is so tough seeing what we feel in our hearts, right? What we believe in our hearts, and seeing the complete opposite of what our churches, a lot of churches out there these days, are championing, right?
Yeah.
And I do want to start off by saying our allegiance, and if you're Christian, please, I want you guys to hear this. If you know, if you are Bible believing, or if you have that connection, you're religious in a way that you believe in God, I want you guys to realize that it is a fallacy. And I want y'all to realize this. It is a fallacy that we have an obligation to save this nation.
Mm-hmm.
That is that is idolatrous thinking.
Yeah.
We do not carry the quote unquote duty to save this country,
Mm-hmm.
because because our allegiance as Christians, our first and foremost allegiance is not to this country. It is to the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Christianity, the belief in God, right? That relationship. That doesn't speak for your allegiance to America. You are a citizen in this country. You are
Yeah.
only bound by you're only bound by earthly laws here.
It's yeah.
I want
World.
you I like, that is a lot of things a lot of pastors and a lot of people nowadays will get wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because I struggle with this a lot, as Ren's Kuya, as a lot in our youth group,
Yeah.
right? I face this dilemma and this battle, this mental, spiritual battle almost every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel that when they talk in church, when they talk about like the end times, I actually believe them. And I'm not fear mongering here. I actually believe them. You know why?
Mm.
Because man, I just wish I remember the Bible verse on top of my head, but I believe it was in Matthew. I
Uh-huh.
believe it. If I'm wrong, please someone in the comments correct me. Matthew 24, I believe. There's a verse in the Bible that says, and this is Jesus talking about, the end times when he was still on earth doing his ministry. Matthew 24. They asked him, when Master, when is the sign of the end? Jesus says there will be a coming of an age where there's earthquake in diverse places, right? There's so much different things, that crazy things that will happen in our day and age.
Yeah.
There was a specific verse that talks about, if possible, even the very elect, even God's chosen will be deceived. And
Mm-hmm.
frankly, I do see that in a lot of churches nowadays. Just because they see a quote unquote group that wears the guise of Christianity, they
Yeah.
automatically believe it.
Yeah.
Guys, we're more than that.
Yeah.
We are so much more.
Who are you so easy to believe and follow like
Right,
that?
right. It's a lot of core values that we should be putting into practice, in motion. Critical
Yeah.
thinking, thinking for yourself, keeping people accountable, right?
Yes. Thinking and moving in the way that God wants you to move.
Exactly. Just because someone says they're Christian doesn't necessarily mean they are. You
Yeah.
have to look at them, look at their life.
Look at their values.
It just perplexes me that you put someone with this magnitude of wrongdoing and sinfulness
Mm-hmm.
and like
Dare I say blasphemy?
blasphemous, right? Yeah, you can say that. The leadership of this country is no small feat. It is no small office. If I can have my way, and I know a lot of people will believe me and agree with me when I say this, if I can have it my way, I want to find someone who is qualified like that,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people will I know a lot of people in the church will are saying, oh, if you're unqualified, then you probably are most qualified. There is a certain degree I would agree to that extent, but that's
Mm-hmm.
only if you bring it up from a place of humbleness.
Yes, of course.
If you truly are humbled internally, and I was talking to one of my kuyas about this. He was talking to our pastor the other day,
Yeah.
or maybe months ago, saying, I don't know if I'm worthy to be back, given like my history with in darkness, right?
Yes.
Our pastor said, like, the moment you feel worthy, you are disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
But all the more you should feel unworthy. That doesn't necessarily mean that just because this guy who's president elect right now is unworthy doesn't mean he's worthy. But the
All of
thing
a
is that
sudden.
the difference there between our kuya
Yeah.
and this incoming person is that one was humbled.
Mm-hmm.
One had a
One
humble
was
spirit. One
taught,
one was putting himself down and saying, God,
I need you.
I can't do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
God, I have such a heart for these people, but I can't do it. This incoming president elect, have you seen him break himself down?
Mm.
Have you seen him humble himself?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference in heart.
Have you
That's the
seen
difference in
have you seen
qualification to
him to
disqualification.
try and put himself in other people's shoes?
No. And for y'all, if you are thinking about that whole McDonald's photo op,
Go
thinking
touch
about
some grass.
go touch some grass. So I feel like it's the end times because the very elect, our people in church, our leaders in church, I get so worried. They don't get to see that there are Christians that are coming in sheep's clothing, but in reality, they are wolves.
Yep.
Blasphemy for them to even think about that, to use Christianity as a means to an end.
Yeah.
How dare you use my God and his word to push your agenda? How dare you? How heretical you must be.
You made religion into a political thing. That is something I live by. That is something I believe. That those are sacred words that I keep close to my heart.
Yeah.
Those are things that I talk with to God and ask him for guidance. Those are things that I find comfort in, and you are making it into a political categorical thing as the same thing as my gender, my identity, my income, my socioeconomic class.
Yeah.
What is that to you? A joke? That is not a worldly thing. God's word is sacred.
Exactly.
Using that as an excuse just puts such a bad name into everything, and I get it that the moment that a lot of people's first thought is when other people say, yes, I'm Christian, they think about all these other things, and that's what hurts the most. It's like, how did we get here? People need to really open their eyes because this isn't what real Christianity is.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tout about the whole if Jesus was here he'd be a liberal. I'm not gonna stoop to that discussion.
We don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't even put it there in the first place. Yeah. I'm just talking for those who are unsure about their where they stand between their faith. They're being quote unquote progressive and being
all that jazz.
God called us here to teach. He didn't call us here to indoctrinate.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Commission was go forth and teach all nations.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them go forth and make them believe, even if they don't want to.
Yeah. What's the point of forcing someone to believe in Christianity if it's forced?
Exactly.
Is that real faith?
You can't force someone to accept a free gift.
Yeah.
They have to accept that gift of themselves. That applies to the gift of eternal life.
And that also applies to someone saying they are Christian versus to someone that acts Christian, that lives Christian, that loves like a Christian.
Yeah. I will say, let's not get it twisted. I am still standing by the whole thing that good works will not get you into heaven. Mm-hmm. This is coming from what I grew up in, and this is what I have internalized. Because really, the gift of salvation is free. Yeah. You have to accept it. Only you can accept it. And that's where I'm saying this free will is your greatest pathway into that.
Yeah.
You have the choice to accept it. He gives it to you freely. Why would you force someone to take it?
It's just counterintuitive.
It's more than just counterintuitive. It's insanity.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
it's
digress.
Absurd. But so yeah.
I have so much to talk about.
So
the heresy and just blindly believing fallible humans down on earth here.
Yep.
The ones who are in quote unquote leadership that are quote unquote Christian leaders. We gotta do better.
Yeah.
What keeps you grounded in your Christian roots? What keeps you away from this whole propagandist American Christian nationalism?
And this doesn't only go for Republicans, it goes also for Democrats. All the propaganda.
Oh yeah, no, it's all across the board.
Yes. We're talking about everything that's political, that's being made political, that is political.
Yeah. If we're gonna go by this whole because a lot of people right now are arguing, oh, there's no separation of church and state, blah blah blah. It's like both God and country, right? Blah blah blah. It's okay. Let's say we play by those rules, right? Let's play by those rules.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're still gonna have to choose either God,
yeah,
or your country.
Yeah.
If your country goes down morality wise, I'm gonna bring that conversation. If your mom tells you, if your friends jump off a cliff, would you follow them?
Hell no. Sorry.
It's the same way. Let's say God tells you. Suppose your country goes down the morality pit. Completely immoral.
Yeah.
Do you follow your country or do you follow me?
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, there's always going to be that separation of church and state. That relationship over religion.
Yeah.
There's always that divide that it's so unique to what God really was telling you. Yeah. A lot of it is so rooted in God telling you. At the end of the day, are you going to choose me or are you going to choose
something worldly?
Something worldly. Are you going to choose me or are you going to choose anything that you want over what I want for you? Ultimately, that's what sin is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Food for thought.
Food for thought. I want our churches to do better. I just really hope they open their eyes.
I hope it's in this life. Yeah. Not in another one.
I really don't want to say fuck around and find out. But if
sometimes
we are in
has to come to that.
Yeah. It's so funny how there's some people like online I'm seeing they're telling all their like conservative voting relatives and like acquaintances, oh, I hope you get what you voted for. And apparently those people are taking offense to that.
Oh.
What?
You proudly voted what you voted.
Yeah. Why are you so hurt? Why are you so hurt by that?
Yeah.
Who's the snowflake now?
Exactly. That's what you voted for, dude. I don't know, maybe you I'm assuming you did your research. I'm assuming you know who you voted for and what he stands for. Yeah. Whatever they stand for. And you're going to have to accept the reality of that because we are trying to do that too. So, that's I didn't hear about people getting offended over that, but
yeah, no,
that's crazy. I'm not surprised.
Maybe I'm the chronically online one. I've been scrolling through TikTok and Threads and Twitter like the last couple of days.
Trying really hard to live blissfully.
It is so funny.
Hey, I'm still avoiding Twitter right now.
Okay, maybe
that might have to be a clusterfuck right now.
I will just say this. Touche, podcast bros generation. Y'all actually made the younger demographic of young men here really vote for the orange peel.
Oh goodness.
Touche, but you know what? Fuck you guys at the same time.
Oh gosh.
All you taters and Fuenteses, fuck you guys.
Oh,
but touche.
Yep.
I will just say this too. I will literally swing at anyone who says your body, my choice forever. Ooh. I will literally punch. I will literally. It is on site.
No.
It is literally on site.
That's just no.
And I say that unapologetically.
Yeah. No take backsies on that one, and don't think I ever.
Oh no, for sure. You will not be forgotten.
Yeah, for sure. Damn. Tough.
I know. We were not expecting to talk about this.
No, this was supposed to be.
This was the second episode.
Yes, this was supposed to be a nice and chill. We were talking about things that we actually had in plan. We have a list of things that we really want to talk about because we're really passionate about it.
We wanted to talk about college. Someone asked us about like relationships and intersectionality between queer relationships and just romance, and then this had to come up, right? But
something we can't control now.
Sometimes things just happen, and it affects all of us.
Yeah.
We have to act accordingly. We have to prepare accordingly.
Suddenly, I went from God is giving me the hardest task to God is giving us the hardest task. He's putting us through a very crazy uphill battle right now.
Yeah.
He's putting us through a roller coaster collectively. He said, everyone's already struggling, so let's just all do it together. So, this is what we're doing now, and we're going to fight it head on. Again, your existence is resistance. So I hope you just keep going through it. It matters. So yeah.
Keep alive, stay alive. Keep yourself safe. No, and I'm
it's
not.
Reality.
It is. And I say this with a very well-meaning, and I hope people take this to heart. It's just for all of you guys in your local battles. keep strong.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your mental and your heart. Keep all of that. Take care of that.
Yes.
Because if you're going to give and bleed and pass on this fire to what really matters to the next generation, if we don't see a change in our generation, the best we could do is pass it forward to the next.
Yes.
I just want everyone to just don't lose heart. You
We
know,
cannot let that fire
the
go
fight
out.
is now on our local battlefields, right?
Yep.
Keep strong.
Mm-hmm.
Put a new meaning to stay woke. Literally, stay alert.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay awake, guys.
Stay awake.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for listening. You were loved.
And you are heard, you are seen. Till next time.
Bye.